for Thursday, July 12th, 2018. This is the 7th cast with all the gaming news that's fit to rib.
Hello, I'm the 7th level. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit launched last week. Yeah, I didn't give a crystal shit either. Capcom stated in a shareholder meeting that the Switch was receiving its own Monster Hunter experiences because the hardware can't handle Monster Hunter World. Yeah, how's that Switch as a full-fledged console you can take on the go shit working for you now? Can't say I didn't warn you. Critically acclaimed JRPG Nier Automata released for Xbox One last week, but Japanese games are a niche market, right, crap gamer? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch has been updated to include Labo compatibility because motion control gameplay has worked out so well for racing games thus far. All you Nintendoites out there talking shit about extra PSVR modes, yeah, try to explain away this shit. The preview for Descent Underground released last week. Oh, don't you worry now, millennials. It's just a revival of a classic 3D PC shooter that came out when you were still swimming around in your old man's balls. Nothing to be concerned about. In other news, I still haven't bought Detroit Become Human, so stop asking me if I've played it. I can barely afford the games I want to play, much less a glorified choose-your-own-adventure interactive movie. God damn! Kingdom Hearts director Tetsuo Nomura revealed this week that when he was planning the original game, the story was very simple. But Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi recommended a more complex narrative so that it would appeal to Final Fantasy fans. Boy, did he take that ball and run with it, huh? The Kingdom Hearts storyline is more confusing than Chris Chan's gender identity. Boogie 2988 was getting shit on by both sides of the political spectrum last week for announcing himself as a centrist who leans slightly to the left. Word of advice, Boogs, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to be the extreme of either one side or another. Just realize on the digital superhighway of American politics, whoever is seen walking down that center line is usually the first to get run over. Yeah, and I just redneck-ized the advice of Mr. Miyagi. You got something to say about it? And now, friends, it's time
for Tales from the Crumb Side.
Recently, the annual gaming convention Too Many Games was held in Philadelphia, and Chris Chan's loyal followers donated enough to get him there. Apparently, numerous people who wanted their photo taken with him got the bonus plan, which included perhaps a hand on the ass and a kiss on the cheek, or a combination thereof. Cause Chris Chan is just so full of love, he can't help but get some of it on you. Usually on your leg. Thank you, George. Several complaints were levied against Chandler, but the little plagiarist that could just kept on groping and a-smooching until finally officials asked for him to leave, which resorted to his collapsing into a fetal position. Because, hey, that's a totally rational response to being asked not to be an ass. Look, I know it's not totally Chris's fault. I know that Chris has issues, okay? We all know this. And Chris's mom is right there alongside Chris as either senile or on the spectrum too, and just enabling Chris to do all the wonderful, amazing things that get Chris on Encyclopedia Dramatica in the first place. I know we all get a good laugh out of these antics, but it's really not anything funny. It's really sad. This is an individual that needs to be, let's be honest, in 24-hour, around-the-clock, constant care at a professional facility. Get this poor creature some help, for fuck's sake. It was revealed this week that GameStop is shopping itself out for potential buyers as a looming digital gaming future eats more and more into its bottom line. And oddly enough, it's trying to mod itself into a hot topic that also sells a few used games. Hasn't exactly worked out well for them. But hey, all gaming digital future. I didn't know what I was talking about 10 years ago, right? Right? Rockstar Games announced last week that they'll be adding NightClubs to Grand Theft Auto Online. Finally, a chance for you die-hard GTA fans to not score without even having to leave your house. Concurrent to this announcement, Hyperkin announced a commemorative new Grand Theft Auto V game controller that is resistant to both jizz and cocoa butter. While being interviewed about their upcoming Command & Conquer mobile game, EA's Patrick Soderlund said, and I quote, "People make the mistake of saying this is what you want. No, Pat, the mistake people make isn't knowing what they want, but rather expecting your company to provide it." And finally, PS4 exclusive JRPG Mary Skelter 2 has revealed a new fan service mode where you can clean pink goo off your favorite jiggly waifus, revealing transparent outfits under...
Deuces.
Did you hear that? Super Brothers rushed to GameStop so fast he broke the fat ass barrier. And that's all the news that was fit to rip. As always, I am your host, the 7th Level. With me, as always, was my faithful, talented, and loyal cameraman, 8th. We will be back next week with more news. Until then, do what you do down in the description. Show me some love. Watch all my other stuff, and by all means, show me your rent, son!
The preceding batshit insanity was brought to you in part by donations from my supporters on Patreon. Go ahead, toss me $1 a month. What's the worst that could happen?